if you can't relax even when life is fine, if you finally sit down and your body stays tense, if your mind keeps scanning for problems like it's on autopilot, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not lazy. And you don't need more motivation. Most likely, you're stuck in fight or flight. That means your nervous system is overloaded. And the solution is not hype, not pressure, not push harder. The solution is regulation. Simple signals repeated daily. That's how you change your baseline. I'm going to be straight with you. I've spent years reading about stress, performance, and recovery, and I've tested a lot of advice on myself. I've also watched this pattern show up in people who look strong on the outside and feel exhausted on the inside, and the same thing keeps coming back. When the nervous system is overloaded, motivation becomes unreliable, discipline turns into self-punishment, and life feels heavier than it needs to. But when you regulate the system first, everything gets easier. Not instantly, but noticeably. So in this video, I'll do 3 things. First, I'll show you what fight or flight actually looks like in real life, not in dramatic movie scenes. Second, I'll explain what keeps it switched on. And third, I'll give you a reset plan you can start today. What to stop, what to start, and what to protect daily, so your nervous system finally gets the message that you're safe enough to soften. Fight or flight is not just panic. For most people, it looks ordinary. It looks like waking up tired even after sleep. It looks like shoulders slightly raised without noticing, a jaw that's always tight, breath that stays shallow. It looks like being productive but never really relaxed. It looks like irritability, impatience, and a mind that keeps running even when you want peace. It looks like needing stimulation to feel alive, caffeine to feel normal, noise to feel okay. And then, when you try to rest, you feel guilty or restless, or your brain starts replaying everything you didn't do. That's fight or flight in modern life. The system is on, even when the room is quiet. Here's the key idea, and I want you to remember it because it will save you time. You can't think your way out of a body alarm. I learned this the hard way. There were periods when I tried to mindset my way out of stress. More planning, more self-talk, more productivity systems. And it didn't work, because the body was still reading danger. When your nervous system is reading danger, your thoughts will follow. Your mind will search for threats, reasons, and worst-case scenarios, not because you're negative, but because your system is doing its job, staying ready. So the first goal is not to fix your mind. The first goal is to lower the alarm. And when the alarm goes down, your mind becomes easier to manage. That's the order. Now, why does the alarm stay on? Because your nervous system does not only react to one big event, it reacts to signals. And modern life is full of signals that look like too much input, too many tabs open, too many conversations, too much pressure, too little recovery. Late night scrolling that keeps your brain in alert mode. Constant checking, constant reacting. You call it normal. Your nervous system calls it still not safe. And if you live like that long enough, stress becomes your baseline, then calm feels strange. Calm feels empty. Calm can even feel unsafe. I've seen this again and again. The moment people finally have time to rest, their mind gets louder, not quieter. Not because rest is bad, but because their system doesn't know how to switch off. This is where a lot of self-improvement advice fails. It tells you to push harder, add more discipline, set bigger goals, wake up earlier, grind more. But if your nervous system is overloaded, more pressure doesn't build you, it burns you. Discipline is useful, but it's not the same as regulation. You can be disciplined and still be dysregulated. You can work hard and still feel anxious. You can train hard and still feel empty. The body does not respond to motive. The body responds to safety. If you want a stable life, you need a stable. So, here's the reset plan. And I want you to listen to this like a coach talking to you after a rough week. Not judging you, not labeling you, just giving you a clean plan. I'm sharing this because it's the simplest framework I've found that actually works in real life, even when your schedule is busy and your motivation is low. Start small. Start today. And repeat. That's how this works. First, you need to stop doing a few things that keep the alarm switched on. The biggest one is stacking stimulation. When you're overloaded, don't combine coffee, loud music, social media, news, and multitasking all at once. That is like adding fuel to a fire and then wondering why it's hot. Another thing to stop is multitasking. Multitasking is not a superpower, it's a stress amplifier because the brain never gets closure. Next, stop the inner arguments. You know those debates in your head where you relive conversations or prove points to people who are not even there? That loop is not thinking, it's stress. When you notice it, name it as noise and come back to the present task. Also, stop using late-night screens as rest. It feels like rest, but it keeps the system switched on. And one more thing, stop trying to operate at 100% intensity when your baseline is already red. In my own experience, that's where people break their momentum. They keep pushing, then they crash, then they blame themselves. It's not a character flaw. It's a system problem. Now here's what to start doing instead. And yes, it's simple, but simple is exactly what the nervous system understands. The first thing is to lower your internal speed, not your ambition, your speed. For the next hour, move slightly slower, speak slightly slower. Do fewer things, but do them cleaner. Rushing is a danger signal. Slowing down is a safety signal. The second thing is to soften your body on purpose. Relax your jaw, drop your shoulders, unclench your belly. You don't have to make it perfect. Just notice it and soften a little. I know it sounds almost too basic, but it's one of the fastest ways to change your internal state, because the body is the switch. The third thing is to change how you breathe, but without any counting. Just inhale normally and exhale a little longer. That's all. Do it a few times when you remember. Longer exhales tell the nervous system that the threat is not immediate. Fourth, choose single tasking with a finish line. Pick one small task that you can complete in 10 or 20 minutes and finish it. Completion is a safety signal. It tells the brain we can handle life. And fifth, get daylight and a short walk. Even 10 minutes. No phone, no podcasts, just you, your feet, and light. Walking and daylight are basic regulation tools. And I've seen them work even for people who swear nothing works for them, because the body understands simple cues better than complex explanations. Now I want to add a rule that makes this easier. It's the 2-hour rule. If you want your baseline to change, you need one protected window every day. 2 hours where you reduce stimulation. Fewer screens, fewer tabs, fewer chaotic inputs, fewer conversations that drain you, and no doom scrolling. Replace that window with something stable, a walk, a simple meal, reading, a calm playlist, tidying one small space, stretching, or silence. This is not you doing nothing. This is you training your nervous system to downshift. Most people never downshift because they never stop pressing the gas, and then they wonder why they can't relax. How do you know you're doing it right? Not because you feel amazing. The first sign is stability, less urgency, less inner pressure, a slightly softer body, fewer aggressive thoughts, a mind that can focus on one thing. Falling asleep becomes easier, not perfect, but easier. You wake up with a bit more clarity. That's the goal. Stability first, energy later. After years of looking at what actually changes people long term, this is the pattern. The ones who win are not the ones who do the most. They're the ones who can recover. Now, let's talk about the biggest mistakes so you don't waste weeks doing the wrong thing. The first mistake is trying to fix the mind first. People say, I need to stop overthinking, and they fight their thoughts with more thoughts. It doesn't work. You lower the body alarm first, then the mind follows. The second mistake is waiting for a perfect day. Regulation is not for perfect days, it's for messy days. Especially messy days. The third mistake is going extreme. People decide they will change everything overnight. New routine, new diet, new workouts, no phone, no sugar, no everything. That plan becomes stress. Your nervous system heals with consistency, not intensity. Now we need to talk about sleep, but I'm not going to lecture you. I'll give you a simple shutdown ritual. 10 minutes, that's it. At night, dim the lights, put the phone away from your face, write one line. Today my nervous system felt, and then one word, tense, heavy, calm, restless, whatever is true. Then take a few slow breaths with longer exhales, no counting, no timer, and then decide tomorrow's first step. One step, not a full plan. This routine sends a clear signal to the system. Day is over. And if the day is not over in your body, it will not be over in your mind. Now, I want to say something that might be the most important part of this whole video. Some people are not addicted to productivity. They are addicted to stress. Stress feels familiar. Stress feels like control. Stress feels like movement. Calm can feel empty. Calm can feel vulnerable. So when you start regulating, your mind may say, "This feels weird, this is not working." Yes, it feels weird because you're leaving your old baseline. Don't confuse unfamiliar with wrong. If you've lived in fight or flight for years, calm will feel like a different climate. Stay there anyway. Your system learns through repetition. That's not motivational talk. That's how the brain and body work. And now I'll give you a short practice you can do while listening, without counting, without timers, without anything fancy. Relax your jaw, drop your shoulders, unclench your belly. Let your breath slow down naturally. Let your exhale be a little longer than your inhale, and say this quietly in your mind: "I'm safe enough to soften." Repeat it a few times. That's it. That is regulation in real life. No performance, just a signal. Let's close this clean. If you feel overwhelmed, anxious, burned out, unable to relax, don't label yourself as broken. Name it correctly: nervous system overload. And once you name it correctly, you stop making it personal. You stop adding shame on top of stress. Then you do the work. Quiet work. Small signals repeated daily. Stop stacking stimulation. Single task with a finish line. Soften the body on purpose. Exhale a little longer. Get daylight and a short walk. Protect a 2-hour low stimulation and shut the day down at night. Your action today is simple. Pick one of these steps and do it within the next 24 hours. Not all of them. One, because one clean step repeated beats 10 perfect plans never done. If this video helped you stay with this channel, this is what we do here. Calm strength, clear mind, practical resets. And if you want the full series on building a stable baseline, check the playlist on this channel and start with the first video. Go in order. Build your foundation. Your life gets easier when your nervous system becomes stable. You don't need a new personality. You need a new baseline. And you can build it. Starting now.